You're listening to the Truth Be Told podcast, brought to you by Adam Tull. Today's episode is sponsored by Cancel Culture. Say what you want, when you want, but don't say it like that. Alright, so yet another cheesy intro from your boy. If you thought that would be anything different, then, I don't know what to tell you. If you listen to the entire first episode, which most of you did, thank you, all 8 of you, appreciate you, then you know that this is a work in progress, as they say. But I have been laying up late at night thinking about what can I do for an introduction, and the only thing that keeps, coming into my head is the Final Countdown soundtrack. You know that soundtrack they played in every basketball stadium in the early 90s? It would just be like, all I hear is Truth Be Told, Adam Tull, blah, 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 blah. It would just be like that. I mean, I almost remember like it was yesterday, to be honest. Let's stay on this topic for a second. It would just be like, you would be at the basketball game with your dad, and we'd be playing if you ever went to the Bulls game, they'd be like, and the announcer comes on and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, your starting 5 for the Chicago Bulls. And you really got to draw out everything and make sure that you really have that fake booming announcer voice going on when you do that. So and then when they had to announce Michael Jordan was the thing back in the day, when they get to announcing him, they really got to rev it up like it's a lawnmower and get that voice ready, and they're like, and your starting power forward, and they rumble all the way down, Michael Jordan, and they really fucking gotta lean into that shit. Otherwise, no one, they're trying to hype everybody up, and it worked, bro. Because in the background, you would just say, it's the final countdown, and smoke and fireworks and all that shit would be going off. And then they would turn the lights on, and it looked like, the place had been hotboxed. But that's neither here nor there. It was a great memory, but maybe one day we can have this huge, spectacular intro for my podcast, but really bad, cheesy intro. But until then, you're just gonna get me, basically doing some cheesy bullshit that no one's really interested in. But I gotta introduce the episode. I should have said in the intro that today's episode was about Ozempic. But if you listen to the first podcast, all 8 of you, by the way, everybody did listen to its entirety. Well, 85% of people listened to it to its entirety. So I appreciate you, agonizing through 27 minutes and 15 seconds. I can feel the love from here. So thank you. But again, now we're on another tangent. That's 2 tangents in one. I need a button that's like, bam, bam, bam. You're on a tangent, dumbass. Bam, 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 bam. Otherwise, I'm never going to get through anything. But let's go ahead and move on to today's topic. I want to talk to you about Ozempic. I know if you haven't heard about Ozempic, you're probably living under a rock, haven't been reading enough Twitter. I assume that everyone knows someone who's on Ozempic. And I was thinking, I don't think I know anyone on Ozempic, actually. Semaglutide, as they say. Semen. All I hear when they say semaglutide is semen glutide. I'm like, oh, they figured out how to cure fatness with semen, huh? Oh shit. And dudes are going people stay with me here, stay with me here. So this shit costs $1,000 a month. Now, if it was actually semen glutide, we don't need $1,000 a month for that, do we? Just picture it. Wife comes home. She's like, honey, they finally have found a way for me to drop that stubborn belly fat. I only need to lose 10 to 20 pounds, and Ozempic has rescued me. I can now be a full-time bulimic and not want to eat anything and drop this stubborn belly fat that's been going on. He's like, what? Wait, what was that called again? She's like, Ozempic. Semaglutide. Oh, did you say semen glutide? Oh, well, we don't have to. How much is this going to cost? And she's like, it's only $1,000 a month for me to drop this stubborn belly fat. Well, how many months are we going to be paying for this shit? I thought you said semen glutide. We don't need to pay for that. I can get you that for free. finally men everywhere that are married would have an excuse to masturbate and or have sex with their wife, because they're gonna need this shit every day. I mean, I got that shit on stockpile. Like, we could just put it in the fridge. You need something for later? You can even take it twice a day if you want to. I mean, low calorie, high protein. I don't see the problem. Why are we paying $1,000 a month to get skinny? I mean, whatever happened, to the going outside, eating healthy, laying off the fucking double cheeseburgers? I mean, it's crazy town. But, people associate being skinny with being healthy. The articles I have read about Ozempic, I mean, still too early to tell, but holy shit, some of these side effects, man. They should have Ozempic slogan, should be Ozempic, guaranteed to make you shit in public. Like, I mean, the people are shitting and puking everywhere. Like, I read one article where this lady took Ozempic for 2 years. She lost like 75 pounds. But she said that it got to the point where she didn't even know that she was going to projectile vomit. She said it was just an explosion and it would happen. Let's think about that. We're so obsessed with, or not even obsessed, we've been indoctrinated to believe that being skinny is healthy, and we are willing to literally make ourselves bulimic to become like to have this like perfect body image. And I it kind of makes me fucking crazy. I don't really understand. like even Oprah is on, even Oprah's losing weight finally, Ozempic. Weight Watchers didn't work the first time. So, even Oprah's now like, holy shit, I can lose weight. I don't have to exercise. I don't have to eat healthy. Like, imagine if Ozempic was out when she had a live TV audience, right? Can you imagine the product upsell at that episode? Should Oprah be like, well, folks, I've been using the Ozempic, or as they say, semaglutide. Oh, did you say semaglutide again? Semen. Oh, you've been using semen. No, semaglutide, and I've dropped that stubborn belly fat. Okay, well, first of all, Oprah never had just a little bit of stubborn belly fat, okay? Yeah. I think that she was approaching the Weight Watchers wrong. You want less points, not more points. I mean, she was sponsored for that shit for years, and they always calculated the numbers wrong. Like, if you were told people that if they, got like 50 points during the day, and if they, they ate, they were trying to gain points as opposed to minimize gaining points, it would have been a whole different story. Weight Watchers would have worked. But back to Oprah. She's just out there, and she's telling the audience, she's like, everybody should be on Ozempic. And then pretty soon, like, everybody in the audience would just be full of people on Ozempic. And they would, they'd have to fucking put those airplane barf bags in front of every seat. And maybe even like one of those chairs that they have at the retirement home that already has like a fucking bucket in it so people could just fucking shit and listen to Oprah spew her bullshit. And then she's like, and today's giveaway, we will be giving away the Tushy bidet. And she's just like, you get a bidet, you get a bidet, you get a bidet. They'll also be giving out ass wipes and everything else, that you need for the runs. Because that's how Ozempic is curing you. It's curing you of your fatness by basically making you not want to eat, making you want to fucking throw up and piss out your ass. I mean, again, like, people are willing to do this, and that tells you how fucked up, like, our perception of, like, how people perceive us when we're walking around, or how it might be, to be overweight. Like, there's such this shame associated with it that we're willing to essentially, like, deprive ourselves of nutrients and shit and throw up all the time just to drop a few pounds. And like, again, like, instead of going outside eating healthy. So I just kind of want to like remind everybody that keeping up with the Joneses is not necessarily glamorous. And speak of like, keeping up with the Joneses, I drive a Hyundai Elantra with cloth interior. And, like, I'm driving that shit into the ground. I mean, think about $1,000 a month. What, like, going back to the Ozempic costing $1,000 a month. Think about like budgetary needs, and that's with insurance. Now, I mean, if you can find it too, that's the other problem. Like, people are so into getting skinny that you can't find this shit anywhere. And it, was originally, marketed as a diabetic drug. Now they're just like, nah, that's not for diabetes. That's for losing weight. You want to lose weight? We don't need those fucking water pills anymore. We got smeglutide or schmegmulitide or smegaglutide or however the fuck you say it. Like I said, all I hear is semen or schmegma. I mean, draw a connect there. I do not know. But anyway, back to like people are willing to like shell out this kind of money. Like, I mean, that's half a mortgage in most places. I mean, that's more than half a mortgage in some places. But again, back to like, why I drive a Hyundai Elantra. I'm gonna drive into the ground. I don't need to keep up with the Joneses. I don't give a shit if the dude who's 22 pulls up in the Camaro and he looks at you. And he's like, look at this fucking guy driving this Elantra. And then they start revving it, it's like, oh. And he probably starts getting hard or whatever. And I just, I look at him, I'm like, oh, just wait till you see this V4 off the line, buddy. You're going to be super impressed. And, but really, like I just let him go because that's going to be the enjoyment for his week. That's actually, he's going to go home and he's going to think about me. And he's going to think about looking in my eyes and getting ready to get that car off the line. And then he's going to jerk off. Hey, and by the way, there's some more, like we can add to the supply of semen glutide. I mean, perfect. Like this doesn't cost anything. We have plenty of egotistical males between the age of 21 and 30 and maybe even higher that will donate semen all day long to the cause. I believe it. So it's just like, I mean, I just don't really understand, what's driving this craze and why people are willing to essentially, have the runs or fucking throw up all the time for, in the name of getting healthy. And like I said, like there's no getting healthy about this. Let me see if I can pull up this article real quick. Hello? Notes work, please? Hello? Let me pull it up. So I just want to read a little bit more about this lady's story about Ozempic. Like, this is just one case. Like, we don't know what the long-term effects of this shit are either. Like, that's the real crazy shit. Like, people were protesting, like, oh, we don't know what the long-term side effects are of the COVID vaccine. No, we don't. But I can tell you right now, if you make a pill for people to lose weight for free and they don't have to do any work, obviously they don't give a shit. They're just like, did you guys test that? They're like, yeah, killed every lab rat that we had except for 2 of them. And people are like, I'll take my chances then. Fucking heaven forbid, though, we have a fucking pandemic and people are like, no, they didn't test that. Like I said, I mean, the only other thing that you could probably do that with is big dick pills with dudes, right? Like, if big dick pills actually worked, but they killed, like 98% of men, like most men willing to take that 2%. Are you saying that my dick is gonna grow? I mean, it's the same. It's like cut from the same cloth, the same thinking. But anyway, let me scroll down here. Hold on, because there was something that I thought was interesting to. What was interesting was that the doctor was like praising her for, she's like, you're a prime like example of why we create, like, she lost more weight. I said that she lost 70 pounds. Oh, she had dropped 80 pounds in a year. And she was actually taking care for diabetes, and it never made her diabetes actually go away. It actually made it worse. Like, they say that she wasn't just like having vomiting and diarrhea. She was saying that she was going to the ER in 2020 like 2 to 3 times a week because she couldn't stop vomiting, and this was after she stopped taking Ozempic. If we think about that, like, what the fuck, man? this is not good. I only need one example of this shit fucking people. But like, this is not even, this shit has been out on the market for less than 5 years, man. We have no idea. I mean, we do know what it's doing. We know it's making people puke and shit and they're losing weight. But like, you might regret that decision in 5 or 6 years when, you know, like, your bone density is going down. You aren't getting any, you're depriving your body of nutrients. I mean, you're pretty much, like I said at the beginning, you're pretty much signing up for bulimia. I mean, at this point, there's no other way around it. I mean, it sounds fucking terrible. I mean, it's just, these are the things that I sit up and think about at night. I mean, Big Pharma though, like, obviously making a killing. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit if it kills I mean, at least I guess we'll get rid of the obesity problem real quick. I mean, we might get rid of some people too. I mean, we won't have to worry about there being an obesity epidemic because there won't be any obesity left to treat because everyone's going to be dead after they take the semaglutide. Semaglutide is how you actually say it. I'm just being a facetious prick. Not even facetious, right? I'm just being a doofus, I guess. So anyway, you know, I think that wraps it up for a little Ozempic. Again, like, I'm not trying to like make the podcast be a certain length. I'm not trying to like put a time frame around it. It's just whenever I feel ranty or whenever like my insomnia keeps me up and I have stupid ideas bouncing around in my head that I want to document. I mean, so, you know, like, very free form, very off the cuff. I love stupid fucking sayings like that. Not really though. That shit drives me crazy when people, like, when you're in the grocery market and people are like, boss, what's up, boss? Yeah. I mean, like, whatever. I mean, so let's just wrap it up, the Ozempic talk, a little bit more. Like, I mean, all I'm trying to do is like, yeah, it's funny to kind of joke about. But you know, if you really want to get healthy, there are ways to do that. I mean, they say you need, you know, 2 to 2.5 mile walk a day, and then just don't, you know, eat so much food. Like, it's not like hard, right? But it also goes to show you how lazy America is. I mean, I think that's really my conclusion and really what we can gather from this. Like, we're so fucking lazy. We want a pill to fix our fatness. And we want, you know, to have all this money and drive around in cars and have all these things and blah, blah, blah. But we're not willing to actually put in any work whatsoever. I mean, work out the window. No one wants to do any work anymore. Everyone wants a quick fix for everything. It has to be now. So I think, you know, from a conclusion perspective for the episode or for the rant, you know, like, just be careful out there. Be sure you know what you're putting in your body. And make sure you don't associate, like, just think a little bit before you're like, oh, I'm going to get skinny and that means I'm going to be healthy. There's no amount of pills or drugs, anything that you actually have to put in your body to change how your body reacts to something is most likely not good for you. I mean, I put cannabis in my body. It's very good for me. But really, like, at the end of the day, that is a very, you know, like, it's still a drug. It's still affecting my brain chemistry. And maybe that's why I'm crazy. But it's still affecting me in some manner, right? So just know kind of what you're putting in and know what you're, like, trying to accomplish to get out of it. Maybe, like, Ozempic from a short-term perspective can help you get over that hump. But I would be really careful once you get on the other side of that hump if you continue down to taking Ozempic, because again, we don't know what it's gonna do. So, you know, I think we'll leave it there. I hope to get another episode out next week. I actually want to take a mental health quiz since May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We're not trying to raise awareness. We're just trying to figure out if I'm fucking insane. So we'll take that quiz on probably on Monday. Like I said, I want to do 2 or 3 a week. It just depends. Like again, it's based on my insomnia and based on the ideas that are bouncing around in my head on whether or not I'm gonna produce an episode. So let me know how you feel. I'll make a poll. It looks like some of you have responded to the poll. Thank you for doing that as well. Thanks for the follows as well. But I'll put a poll on, if you guys like content to be longer, if you want it to be shorter, if you don't give a shit, etc. I'll take it into consideration. Not really, though. But please do vote. Please click follow. I'm trying to get some engagement going. Trying to get the ginger rant out there into the universe. So appreciate you guys. I know some of you have to listen to this 24/7 and still chose to listen to the first episode. So I hope you enjoyed the second episode. We'll see you guys in the next one.